Tonight, the market's rebounding from its worst day of the year so far, but the Rupert Murdoch-owned Wall Street Journal still reporting there are warning signs that point to a larger global slowdown and fears of recession. Now, a slowdown usually has several factors. Economists, though, say one of them right now could be Trump barreling forward with this China trade war, threatening, deploying tariffs, sometimes backing off the tariffs. It's a kind of gambler's approach to international trade.
Well, I think they're right now hurting. The tariffs are killing them.
Meantime, they're paying us billions and billions of dollars of tariffs, which is fine with me.
And we put tariffs on China, very big tariffs on China.
A lot of companies are leaving China because they don't want to pay the tariffs.
Now even some of Trump's closest allies sounding alarms.
Huge problem. If the economy goes into recession, Donald Trump's going to have a hard time being reelected. People, Trump supporters, got to pay attention to this. President, I know, is all over it.
One source close to Trump saying a lot of us are concerned. Without the narrative on the economy, he can't win. I'm about to be joined by Jack O'Donnell, former president of Trump's Plaza Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. He knows all about the gambles Trump has taken, including his own business practices, some of which led Donald Trump's hotels and casinos into the famed bankruptcies. Trump no longer technically running those businesses, but he's running, he says, the U.S. economy, which impacts everyone. And his words and his approach to how to solve these problems, well, could be more important than even any gambling at one of those casinos. Now here's Jack O'Donnell, author of Trump, the inside story of the real Donald Trump. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Ari. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Great to have you. You've been there, done that. You're an insider. Number one, how strong is his long-term business planning? Because this is about more than day trading. And number two, do you recognize any echoes of the gambling in the way he's kind of improvising these trade wars?
Well, I think you have to understand, first off, there really is no strategy. And I think one of the cons, Ari, when we elected a businessman as the president, is that he would bring some discipline and perhaps some real strategy to the government and obviously how we operate internationally. Well, Trump really has never had that capability. He wasn't strategic in his business. People are now calling it transactional. It was really just the thought of the day. He did things on the spur of the moment. He bought the Taj Mahal because it was the biggest. He bought an airline because he always wanted to own an airline. He didn't bring any economic discipline to how he operated the business, and he had no strategy to really grow the business. So it's pretty obvious at this point that he's operating today, the government, in the exact same manner. He just has an idea and he implements it. Ideas like, I'm just going to reduce taxes for the rich, so he does it, thinking that that's going to solve all the problems. He wants to get out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership just because he never really liked it. It's not part of a strategy. It's just things that Donald Trump wants to do.
You know, a lot of this uses different frames, and the frames we have in our mind, of course, influenced a lot. He famously talked about it in the frame of deals, as you know. Take a look.
I've watched the politicians. I've dealt with them all my life. If you can't make a good deal with a politician, then there's something wrong with you. You're certainly not very good. I want to make great deals. That's what it is, for the people. Everybody wants me to negotiate. That's what I'm known as a negotiator.
We like to win. We know how to close deals. I close. I'm a closer. Even in sports, I've always been a closer. I win.
Famous for his ninth inning fastball, as you know, but is the approach to a multi-pronged, multi-country trade and tariff war analogous to a deal? I mean, that would involve presumably China coming to the table or changing its practices in a way that benefits the U.S. What we have recently is Trump blinking, as Stephanie Ruhle was pointing out on this program this week, him blinking and walking away from some threatened tariffs, and China looking like they might wait this out through the election.
Well, I think he didn't think this through. That's part of not having a strategic plan. But he's never been particularly good at negotiating, particularly when the heat is on. And he tended in his business to always overpay. And he was willing to back down almost immediately. And so I think we're seeing with the China tariff situation is that it really wasn't well thought out. He didn't understand how tariffs work. That was very clear. And now he knows he's dealing with a government that has no incentive to back down, just for the way they rule their people.
Yeah.
And
When
he's
you
going
were-
to have to blink here.
When you were working for him, what did you think at the time the odds were that he would become president?
Oh, well, I didn't think. I mean, he talked about it back then, Ari, and
He said what?
You
He
know,
talked
we
about
would
it?
question. He talked about running back then, but we just never took him serious. And you know, when it happened this time, listen, I'll be the first to say I did not think the man could be elected. I was wrong.
Does it look like the same guy to you
hope-
now? I mean, when you see him leaning in, as we were covering tonight, his attacks on the squad, the alleged abuses of power, the bigotry, was that visible to you then?
Oh, the bigotry was always visible, Ari, and I think it's going to be something that he's always going to go back to. You even saw in this news cycle in the last 24 hours, the economy became the story. He immediately went back to race. That is going to be a fundamental foundation of his campaign, because that will always keep the base with him. The question, of course, as you know, is the base going to be enough this time? And hopefully it won't be.
Jack O'Donnell, telling us all the old war stories. Thank you for being here.
Ari, thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.